Welcome, Legion, to my review of Rage 2. It's developed by ID Software, and it is a game that is based off of the first game, sort of. There's a few key differences. One, even though some of the main characters, like Lusum Hager and the mayors of Good Wench and stuff, they all come back as returning cast characters. Beyond that, it doesn't really reflect upon the first game that much. So many things have changed, in fact, that it's almost unrecognizable from the first game. The first game had more of a horror element, where everything was serious and everyone fought for their lives. In this game, it feels like your guy can just do whatever he wants all the time, and it has a very low risk of dying. So, being an ARC survivor, the ARC survivors were implanted with these nanotrait beacons that enabled them to regenerate health and use these almost like superpowers. You got a few to upgrade, 4 on your pad, and the more you use them, and the more you use the free roam map to go ahead and check out objectives and take over different places in the environment, you're able to upgrade these things. And every time you kill an enemy with these nanotrait injectors, these little blue things that come out, and when you collect them, there's a little meteor on the side of the screen that will fill up, and you'll be able to enhance this kind of like rage mode ability. Every time you use the Rage Mode ability, the weapon you have has a different effect. The assault rifles fire faster, the pistols hit harder, the shotguns have wider spread, etc., etc. And the only way to upgrade these really is to go to these different locations and take out these objectives that you have there. You have authority turrets that will just shoot you and kill you pretty fast. You will eventually get a car, and you'll attack these convoys, and when you take out these convoy style, like kind of almost like Mad Max, you'll go and shoot the crap out of the back of them and they'll explode. You'll be able to upgrade and get money from that. But what you really want to focus on in this game is getting money. I mean, if we learn anything from the Bethesda games like Fallout or any RPG, money is power in games like this. So you want to get as much money and level up your abilities as much as you can to make the game easier. Because if you do not level up your abilities in this game, this will destroy you. There's so many hard, big bosses that will simply just hit you one time if you're at low health and kill you. There's a saving grace that the more you kill people, the higher your resistance to pain will be, because you'll be able to use the rage ability. Now, if you do go down, you can activate this defibrillator that's implanted in your body. Due to you being an ARC survivor, you can regenerate this ability, but it is very slow. In the heat of a gunfight, you're not going to want to go down more than one time, because it does take up to like 2 minutes to regenerate. But you will encounter some of the characters from the first game, and they have taken on different roles this time around. It's always cool to see them again and interact with them.
And you're not on it.
Prowley sent me.
Prowley, huh? Prowley's dead. Vineland was razed to the ground.
She's a I can't explain. I'm Walker, the last of the Vineland Rangers.
So the characters that you see that are returning are Lusum Hager, which when you saw her last in Rage 1, she was a teenager. Apparently her father got murdered by the general, who is the main villain in this game. And you'll run into Dr. Kavaskier, I think. He's some Russian guy, and he'll have different tech for you to use to upgrade your abilities. Every different leader has different abilities that they focus on, and you're going to want to do kind of a wide sweep to all of them in order to implement all the damage that you can really output. And they all have different missions and objectives and places where you interact to just kind of like level up your character. And you can also level up your weapons, but not just your weapons, but your health infusion, your overdrive, how long your rage lasts, your overdrive, whatever, and the turrets you throw down, how much resources you get from things. You can really feel Bethesda's hand in this, as well as ID's. ID's for the shooting and Bethesda's for the crafting. It does take a really long time to do all this, but I beat the game without getting all the upgrades. A lot of the enemies that you fight will overwhelm you very, very quickly. This is a game where you cannot sit still with your sniper rifle or your shotgun or your assault rifle and just pick away at enemies. Almost every enemy, pretty much every enemy will, if they see you sit behind cover for more than a second, they will rush you, shoot you, and their melee attacks do tremendous amounts of damage. This is more of like the kind of like Doom remake kind of thing, remaster, where you're constantly moving, you're constantly targeting these weak points on these enemies, and the more you move, the better off you are. and hopefully you do enough damage and you get enough combos to use that rage ability. A few things return. There is racing in the game that's pretty cool, that you can upgrade your car. Unfortunately, the racing doesn't really matter. It's just a one-on-one race with caravans, and there's only one time you have to do racing in the series. But the guns handle really well. Weirdly, though, the cars don't handle well. In the instances that you are racing, it's not only, like, sort of laggy, but it's just, like, the cars don't respond well as they did in the first. In the first one, you could, like, go reverse and, like, upgrade your car and boost and all that. And no matter all the vehicles in the game, none of them you can upgrade the boost. Why can't you upgrade the boost to any of these vehicles? That's wild to me. Like, the one thing you want to do is get away from danger quickly. Instead, you upgrade your armor, you upgrade your acceleration, and that's cool, but acceleration, you know, as anyone that's played racing games knows, that acceleration is you know, how quickly you can go from slow to fast. It doesn't maximize your speed. There's no cars in this game that maximize their speed. There's just armor buffs and better engines. But as good as an engine is, it's not really useful when your engine maxes out and you're stuck at the high speed, but things are still chasing you or trying to get somewhere quickly. It'd be nice to have a boost so you could at least, like, damage or, like, ram something or, like, get away quickly. You can also not upgrade the handling at all. Yeah, you can put better tires on it, which kind of helps, but you can't upgrade this turning radius and springs and whatever. I just play too many racing games where I know that this would be very, very, very helpful. And it makes all the vehicles irrelevant. Once you find this vehicle called the Akairos, which is a flying helicopter, and basically with that you can fly it anywhere on the map and skip all the roads, and it makes driving irrelevant, which is sad because the first game had, like, only a few cars, yeah, but you could upgrade their boost, their handling, and their spray paint, and there was, like, all kind of jumps and stuff. But once you get the helicopter or the Akairos, there's no point to using cars anymore. The only reason that you should use your car is when you get the tank car later in the game. You can use it to take out convoys for some money and some experience. Yeah, that's cool, but it'd be cooler if they just made the cars and the driving better, since driving was such a big part of the game. And it feels kind of cheap when I'm just flying the Akairos everywhere instead of, like, you know, driving. And there's so many roads and there's so many caverns and so many cool off-road sequences that could be possible, but every vehicle in the game handles like trash except the Akairos. Even the best car in the game that you get is just crap compared to everything else. Anyways, I'm going on this vehicle rant here because I'm really into cars, but that's fine. So anyways, besides the racing, the one race mission you have to do, which doesn't do anything, you don't really use your vehicles, and vehicles aren't implemented in combat. In fact, all of them are useless in combat except for the tank, which you get later and you use for a whole 5 minutes and then you're done. Everything else about the game when it comes to vehicle segments is freaking useless. Mutant Bash TV does make a return, so that's pretty cool, and basically you're up against a bunch of static enemies and you can get money, but even that's toned down. It's only necessary twice in the game, and after you do it you're like, okay, I'll probably never go back there, because not only does it only get you money and experience, but it doesn't help any of the factions that need you to do work for them. So again, it's pointless. But it does show off some cool gunplay, but there's not that many challenges. It just, I don't know, and the lady that narrates it is creepy and pervy, and it's just weird. It's weird. And the guy, J.K. Styles, from the first game was so much funnier, and he acted like a real game show host. She just acts like she wants to sleep with her character, male or female, which is weird. Anyways, so that's the review for Rage. I highly recommend this game. It's on Game Pass right now. If you have Xbox One or PC. If you don't, you have PlayStation, that's too bad. I guess you're going to have to buy it. So many elements of the first game have really been dumbed down, which is a bummer. The vehicles, the Mutant Bash TV, and even the story and the graphics. But if you do like to just run and gun and tear stuff up, and you don't want to play Doom again, and you're still waiting for Doom Eternal to come out, I highly recommend giving Rage 2 a play. So, once again, thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Seouless Reviews.
Impressive. You think you can catch a bullet, too?
Lusum Hagar. mayor of Wellspring. Used to be a wingstick whiz kid. Nowadays backs it up with a pistol. Instrumental to the Dagger Project. Whoa, 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 whoa! Easy! I'm here about the Dagger Project.
Just a very exclusive list knows about that project. And you're not on it.
Prowley sent me.
Prowley, huh? Prowley's dead. Vineland was razed to the ground.
She's a I can't explain. I'm Walker, the last of the Vineland Rangers.
God damn it. More of these assholes!